everybody. I get to say the first thing first. Here's episode 12.
Yes, I thought you were going to say 2 because it's a two-parter.
It's part 2 of 11, but let's call it 12 because
Let's call it 12.
You saw the other one last week. You've seen this one now, which means we're probably relaxing while you're watching this. Doing this show it's tedious. Don't you find?
I find it's a lot of last-minute work because I usually forget about it and go, oh, crap, tomorrow's Monday.
Yeah.
And then I got to watch a movie and do information on it.
Yeah.
So this movie we're doing this week is part 2 of what we did last week. It is a Quentin Tarantino movie. This is
our first Tarantino movie.
But this is like a monumental occasion, and we have our guest back with us to be
Welcome,
here
Mark.
with this special
Thank
moment.
you.
Thanks for being back here.
Yeah, I'm glad I could be here.
You
never left, so
welcome back to the sinking ship. Yeah.
He didn't even
I'll
leave
be your
his chair.
captain. Yeah.
He may have to pee.
So
Don't know.
this week, this is one of my favorite films, which is going to be why I'm going to be very light on the insulting, which is, I was last week too.
Yeah.
I guess 5 seconds ago for us. Well, I guess 5 minutes ago for us, but last week for you guys.
But you don't know that.
Yeah, you don't know that. You don't look behind our curtain.
No.
It's like Wizard of Oz. Anyways, this week's movie is not Wizard of Oz. It's without further ado, let's do
DeathProof.
I'll let you do it. You're
Or
welcome.
Thunderbolt. No. What was it originally called?
Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
It just flashes
Wait,
on the
you
screen
should
real
wait,
quick.
right? You say Thunderbolt and I'll cut you off with DeathProof. Ready? Ready?
Thunderbolt.
Deathbolt. Oh, what?
You said Deathbolt.
I said Deathbolt.
Okay, so now we're going to butcher that all up. It's the second part of the GrindHouse presentation that Rodriguez and Tarantino did. It's basically a slasher film without knives.
Yes, with his speed. I think in the trailer it says his weapon is speed.
Yeah, his weapon's speed.
Yeah.
It's definitely original. They use Kurt Russell in a
Love
very
him.
menacing way. They got some great, as every Tarantino movie is, it's full of great dialogue, B-rated type style to it. Yeah, so it's a great movie.
It's an amazing movie about, and I'm not a car person, but I like this movie. It's I would dare to say better than Fast and the Furious. I would dare to say.
Yeah, huge stretch.
Yeah, huge stretch.
a little bit more dialogue.
A little bit more dialogue.
A little bit more.
Surprisingly, a little more. I guess a little less nonsense. And a little more quality and goodness. Bottle of goodness.
The one thing about this movie that I've always thought was interesting is the lead up to the chase and how much, you get the Tarantino dialogue in the lead up to the chase. It's like half the movie is just dialogue. And, I'm a Tarantino fan. I love Tarantino's dialogue. I felt in this movie, I didn't feel that the dialogue was as engrossing as it was in other movies. Like Pulp Fiction, that dialogue is so, interesting. And the same with, I found Inglourious Bastards as well. I was really interested in the dialogue. This one, not so much. And I think maybe part of that is because the whole time you're anticipating it to get to that chase, get to that scene where the chase ultimately happens, which is really the highlight of the film. That's what you're waiting for the whole time.
Yeah.
And I have to say that chase thing, I think that chase is probably my favorite car chase. Actually, it is my favorite car chase of any movie that I've ever seen. And, they talk a lot about Vanishing Point in the movie Vanishing Point.
Yeah.
Vanishing Point?
Yeah, the cars, the Vanishing Point.
The Vanishing Point, yeah. Hey, have you heard of Vanishing Point?
Yes, I have.
It's
a great movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie about a vanishing point.
So
Kowalski.
The car is, Kowalski.
Yeah.
The car is still the same, the white Dodge Challenger 1969, I believe it is.
That's impressive. I didn't know the year. Good job.
I remember it because that's one of my favorite cars. But the one thing I noticed when I watched Vanishing Point is that a lot of the movie is filmed from wide panning shots of the chase. And with this movie, I think the greatest thing that Tarantino did with this chase was putting the audience right into the chase, putting the camera right, behind the car, right in front of the car, right on the hood of the car, like literally putting the audience right where, Zoe's on the hood of the car, right there with her. And that's what creates such a, you get more of a sense of the speed, the velocity that they're traveling, the suspense, the intensity of the whole chase that I think is kind of lost when you look at a movie like Vanishing Point, where you take a wide shot and just kind of pan the car
left and right
moving. You don't get the same. I'm not saying it's a bad movie at all. I'm just saying that you lose kind of that same intensity that you get when you watch DeathProof with that chase. That's why I think it's one of my favorite chases. Also, putting Zoe on the hood of the car was it was a crazy decision. It totally worked. I mean, it's amazing that she did it. I mean, she is a stunt woman, so that's her job, but it really paid off with that. It added to the suspense of it, that there's a human being on the hood of this car. Well, this thing is just flying down the road, right?
And it kind of puts you in that perspective of if one of your friends was going to do this, and you feel that, you have the character that's like, not as ballsy. And they explain that in the dialogue about them being girls, and they watched all the Pretty in Pink shit and stuff, but they also watched the Gearhead movies too, right? So it kind of gives you a sense of who the characters are and the ballsy things that they're going to pull off. Tarantino writes women very well and makes them real badasses. It gives them such a purpose. And I mean, I remember watching it for the first time. That every decision they make before this guy comes after them. Like, we're really just talking about the second act. We're not even talking about the first act of the movie. Because the movie's kind of split into two parts, right?
The first act,
right? So,
to me, is one of my favorite parts.
But ultimately, when you think of DeathProof, I do think about that, 30-some minute car chase and the big payoff at the end, right? So, but getting back to the first set of girls and the way that they kind of set up them with their dialogue, their cattiness going back and forth, and them explaining that, how they deal with the guys that they're with, and Tarantino obviously throwing in his nuances in movies like the feet stuff, the trunk stuff, but going on tour to bars and stuff, and a girls' night out, and awesome the jukebox, the impressive jukebox, the whole game with the lap dance stuff. I watched for this, I watched the theatrical version, which is edited quite a bit. So the extended version actually shows the lap dance, and it shows all that stuff. Planet Terror, it's kind of like here and there, things are added, like little pieces of dialogue, but there's whole chunks of movie. There's probably half an hour, if not 45 minutes, missing from DeathProof's original theatrical version, right? So I think that they build those characters. You focus on Jungle Julia's leg, and you see Arlene or Butterfly. That it focuses on her face more, stuff, and you get that payoff when they actually bite the dust.
Her face gets ripped apart.
That sick
I remember
payoff,
seeing it in the theater. I've never watched a movie in the theater wanting to rewind it so fast because it happened. I mean, it shows 4 times.
Right.
All the people that die in it. And
where you can stand up and be like, hey,
awesome.
Just go back a little bit.
The dialogue of Stuntman Mike with Rose McGowan's character too. Sitting at the bar and him explaining that he's the stuntman and all the movies and TV shows he's been into a young audience, and they're all like,
I still really love the whole. Hey, who's he? Stuntman Mike. Who's Stuntman Mike? He's a stuntman. Yeah, that's it.
As you were saying though, with a lot of the movie missing, and that you get in the extended version. I was reading here, Tarantino was talking about, I really wanted to make an extended version, then cut it down and see if I still had a movie that worked, and it did work, which is is interesting because whenever you're cutting stuff out of a movie, it's usually because it doesn't fit or it interrupts the flow of the film or whatnot. I found with the extended version, it still worked the same. However, it's almost like the chase of the movie is so intense and such a highlight that it almost kind of overshadows the things that happened previous. So when you watch it the second time, it's not that you don't enjoy the lead up to it, but you're waiting for the chase to take place again, right? Because it takes it to the film to a completely different level at that point. And the beginning of the movie with the dialogue, it's not that I found the dialogue so much boring or whatnot, but I just think it's crazy to have these characters that are only in the movie for a short period. When you really think about it, right, their only purpose is to get killed in the beginning. Yet Tarantino still develops them to the point where you do feel like you get to know the characters really well. And that's a good thing, because then when they do die, it kind of means something a little bit more than just those throwaway characters that you could dispose of in the beginning of a film.
Yeah, like in Scream when, just a hobblon gets killed.
Right.
Yeah. The beginning of this film, so this film was, again, with you saying that it's set up, it has two different parts. It is to set up a homage to the beginning part, which is a slasher, old B-movie slasher films. Second part with a car chase film. And you definitely do see that with the beginning, mostly taking place at night and everything being really grainy. And then the car chase scene, being more like always in day, being very bright and stuff like that, being more fun. The character of Stuntman Mike is, this is my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie, is my favorite Quentin Tarantino character. I just like the idea of him. And also a cool little Easter egg in the bar scene. If you look up when they're sitting down at their little bar table, right above them is a shirt that Kurt Russell wears in Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it's on the wall. But anyway, just like the idea of his character being a forgotten stuntman. And I watched an interesting video on this movie where the guy said he sees it as an art piece because he sees Stuntman Mike as kind of Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino has said a lot of times that he's making 10 films. That's it. He has made and with this film, he tried to make an homage to an era of film that is now forgotten, but he loves. And it didn't do very well. And the idea of Stuntman Mike sitting in front of a young generation and saying, I'm a stuntman, but nowadays, I get replaced by CGI, and him recalling the good old days. It's like Quentin Tarantino, who recalls the good old days of film and grindhouses, but nowadays he feels like he's obsolete with CGI and stuff like that and modern digital cameras. It brings a little interesting thing, and ironically, with this not doing very well in cinemas, does bring it as like an art full circle of Stuntman Mike getting, spoiler alert, killed in the end, and Quentin Tarantino's little homage to his childhood being shot down. It's a way of like the characters, he ended up getting shown he's not useful anymore by a new generation. It's actually Quentin Tarantino feels like he's getting kicked out from a new generation.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I never really
never
thought about that.
either.
That's really cool.
This is my favorite movie. I dug way too deep into it.
Yeah.
I was like getting philosophy books out and stuff.
Well, you know what? It's good that you brought up his character, though, because I was going to talk about that as well, just because it's such a different character that that I've seen, right? And I think it's a really interesting character. Like you said, the forgotten stuntman who turns into this serial killer with his car.
Yeah.
And I just think that's a really cool kind of premise for a chase movie, for a car chase movie. Like it's something very different, and that's what I really took from the film, is that not only is it like a chase movie, but it's got this other element to it that's really quite interesting. It's not just a car chase, right? There's the characters in it as well that make for the film.
I was just thinking about the actual stunts, Zoe Bell and in the movie. They obviously she was the stunt person for Uma Thurman in Kill Bill.
Oh, I was going to talk about this.
Them doing the ship's mast thing. It's like you kind of like see them talking about it, and like they've obviously done it before, and they said they weren't ever going to do it before. The dialogue going back and forth between two friends that have done crazy things, in how they execute it, they build it up, and then they're doing it. You've got the reluctant friend that's like, she definitely is out of place a bit with what they're doing, but eventually she comes around to it, and you actually see a focus on Rosario Dawson, and she's actually like coming around to, okay, right. I see the danger, but I see the thrill too, right? And that's the whole movie, right? Is the thrill, both of Stuntman Mike and these two girls that are, gearheads or whatever, right? So you kind of get the whole like, Stuntman Mike. He may not know exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah.
but like his motivation is based on thrill.
Mhm.
You know, the thrill of and it leads to the whole premise of the movie, right? I wouldn't say the first act is about thrills. They're really just going out to have a good time. Jungle Julia, I think she drives me nuts. Like, I mean, I know so many people like that, and I'm just like, yeah, she's so full of herself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you see the softness of her when she's texting.
Yeah.
And whatever, but as far as the other characters, it's believable that they're like this, you know,
And that's-
adventure seeking.
That's what kind of makes it interesting in the beginning of the film, is that you don't have, like, you have kind of characters that you almost, you have contempt for. And you don't really have a clear protagonist that you can really kind of connect to in the beginning. I guess really like Rose McGowan's character is the only one that's kind of completely, the one that I would consider the one that I, you know, kind of disliked out of everybody, right? Because you can't really like Stuntman Mike. You can't really, you know, Jungle Julia is kind of, you know, kind of a bitch. You know, and like the others, they all kind of have their, you know, things about them where you're just kind of like, yeah, I don't really.
But that's
I don't really like that. So it's that's what I think is interesting about the beginning of the film. There is you're almost rooting for Stuntman Mike in that first half of it in a way, right?
You're like,
you know?
kill them, do it now. But that's like what Quentin Tarantino is good at. When you think about all of his movies, name one good character.
Yeah, they're all bad guys taken from a different perspective.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
At no point are you like, yeah, he's morally right. Like you're not watching Pulp Fiction going, yeah, Jules and Vincent are good people. You're thinking these are criminals, but you know what? They're the people I'm focusing on.
Well, that's I think that's like a kind of when you think about the writing, then you know, like to write like a well-rounded character like that has things about them that you can connect to, but things about them at the same time that you might despise or not respect or connect to at all. And I think that makes for really interesting writing when you can do that. Same looking at Kill Bill, right? These are all killers. The whole movie, they're all killers, right? But you connect to, like, you know, especially Beatrix. You connect to her in some ways, not just the fact that she used to kill people for a living, but it's almost her. It's the part of her that is being a victim, I guess, and the part of her that wants revenge. I think that's, and this is in some ways this is almost kind of a revenge film, in a way, and I think that's I really like that, you know, because I think we all kind of connect to that just a bit, right? And Tarantino said when he was making Kill Bill, why don't we just make a revenge film? What's wrong with just making a revenge film? And that's what I really liked about Kill Bill as well, is that it made no bones about it. It's a revenge film, and you can almost connect to it in that sense. Yeah.
Like again, like talking about how Quentin Tarantino made you cheer for Beatrix, even though she's a killer. The best form, I'd say, of showing how great Quentin Tarantino is as a writer and a director is Reservoir Dogs. It was his first film, but think about it. Technically, if we're gonna get into the ethical side of things, the good guy is Orange. But in the movie, you see him as the bad guy. He's the guy who's portraying them, but he's a police officer, where the rest of them are jewel thieves. At no point is like where most films, when they're trying to make, when you know he's a criminal, but you know he's got a heart of gold. He's doing it for good reasons. That's how they try to get you root for him. At no point are any of these people good people. They're sitting there saying, "I'm looking out for me." They're angry at each other. They're yelling at each other. Like they threaten to kill each other all the time. They don't give a crap about each other. But you are more rooting for them than the guy that's, you know, doing this to take them down, take down a criminal organization, which no one can do that. Like,
well, at least to his filmmaking, right? I mean, his last act is always the most interesting. I mean, it's something you don't see coming, you don't expect it. You know, like I think when the table turns around, that they stop and Stuntman Mike's like, that was fun. Like he's not expecting one of the girls to have a gun. And can you imagine if they didn't explain that she has a gun and they have reservations about her having a gun and the dialogue about, I'm a CIA agent and now I carry a gun. And like they're like looking at the girl like, she's fucking with you. You know, like, so like when she pulls out the gun and shoots at him, it completely changes the film. Now you're watching what you want to see, right?
Exactly.
You want the, You're supposed to shut your phone
Yeah,
off
I should
before
shut my
this.
phone off. That's embarrassing. Usually it's you. We've had you do that a couple
Yeah.
times. This is
Yeah.
the first time.
Yeah. I'm sorry that I broke character.
Broke character. Are we acting now?
Well,
If we're acting, oh God, these are gonna get really
there's all
bad real
kinds of
quick.
distractions that could distract us in here.
Mhm.
But you know, you're completely right.
Yeah.
It's like that turning point in the film where
Mhm.
like, you know, the hunter now becomes the hunted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And it completely takes on, again, it's like, it's now a different chase.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the chase has completely changed. And
Yeah.
that's, again, part of what makes the whole chase sequence just so well done. I also wanted to say that I thought it was very well photographed. I can't imagine figuring out the cinematography for that whole thing, but you know, I think it was really well done. Especially when I believe that Tarantino shot this on film. Planet Terror was shot on digital.
Yeah.
So of course, when you're working with film, there's always that, you know, that other element to it. So I can't imagine the logistics of getting the camera into all those situations that they had the camera in.
Yeah.
And the stunt work, like you mentioned, it's just crazy. Like when you look at some of those scenes, like you can clearly see that Zoe Bell doesn't have any straps, like you know, holding her onto that car. She's on the hood of that car.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she is going. I mean, she's definitely not going as fast, but they do show that. And I mean, there are some telltale signs with some of the real specific things you look at. Like sometimes the key is in the off position in the car, and you can just tell it's like a green screen type action and stuff. But I mean, it doesn't warrant actually running when they're filming inside of the car.
Yeah.
You don't have to actually be out to where they're doing. But a lot of it was real stuff, you know, like he didn't want to do a whole lot of digital like they did in Planet Terror. It's digital all over the place.
Which is funny, like, and it really speaks a lot to if you can fake it. So, Planet Terror is, I'm not sure if you spoke about it before we started filming or when we started filming last episode, where you said that where in this movie the grit's there at the beginning, but then it kind of goes away, but it's for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Where this movie, at no point throughout the film did I go, this doesn't feel like a grindhouse film. Like they did, because they were filming on film, so they kept the feel of it.
Yeah.
Where I feel in Planet Terror, since they weren't and they were trying to go for the film, they overshot it. I think a lot of the time it was like, that's overkill. Like where this film, it was very, where even though he's supposed to make an exploit film, it's still subtle. Like it's his way of going, well, you know, as much as Planet Terror is out there saying, oh, you know, this is the crazy crap they would have done. Quentin's is more like, well, yeah, but we got some like, gems out of this. Like this is like a good, the good version of it. Like, again, talking about Mad Max. Like again, this movie, especially the end part, is Mad Max. Like we were just the location and stuff like that.
And I think, like to your point, like that kind of makes for an interesting double feature. You have these two films that are made different styles of films, made differently, but yet are like go together so well. You know, Tarantino style and Robert Rodriguez, they went about these films in their own way, which is great. And yet, at the same time, they still, I love how they have this kind of universe that these films live in, just like Tarantino's films all live in within his like world, right? And then you had the bleed over of like the characters from, you know, again, like Michael Parks' characters in this movie now, right?
Yeah.
And
Dakota Block's in it as well.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
the babysitter twins are in the bar.
and like I think they mentioned Jungle Julia in Planet Terror on the radio, dying, right? So again, I think it's such a cool way to meld the two films.
Yeah.
And again, films that are made very differently from each other, and they went about the process of making them differently, but go together so well.
And you know what is very not Tarantino in this movie? Is
What?
the movie is chronological.
Yeah.
There's no flashbacks.
You're right.
And it's his only film that he's ever done that too. So like I wonder what process deciding not to take his specific style of jumping all over the place to show something from beginning to end.
Also, like with I was talking about how they were their styles are different. There is no way that it could have been flipped in the double feature. Like it could not have started with DeathProof and then went into Planet Terror.
I agree.
Had to start with Planet Terror.
I agree. I think that there's a reason they did it that way.
Yeah.
It might have been something after
because like it ramps you up and you're really excited, and then it calms you down. Like it can't calm you down and then ramp you up right at the end.
Yeah.
No, it's
Because
true.
it would just be a giant jump into just like, and also in that way, it does help DeathProof with having Planet Terror before. Like watching Planet Terror and seeing some of the ridiculous shit that goes on, you're forgiving for everything that happens in DeathProof. Like if they bend physics a little bit, it's nothing. You're like, yeah, that's believable. That can happen. Like because you just saw a girl jump through the air with a machine gun leg firing off into a crowd of people, dicks melting off, and you're like, now we're watching car chases. This is a lot more grounded. And like if they slip up a little bit with, a jump not actually be able to work that way, or like keys not off, you're no longer looking for those fine details. You're just going there going, if there's a girl flying through the air with a machine gun leg, then it's not realistic. If it's not, then it's fine.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it helps it be more, which I don't think this movie was going for realisticness.
No.
It it helps it with it being more grounded, with being more
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino style.
But you're right with like that ebb and flow for the whole double feature. Like because like you said, you go from Planet Terror to DeathProof, and the beginning of the film is a little bit more. You get that little bit of a break,
Yeah.
from the sensory overload, right?
Yeah.
So you get all the dialogue and stuff like that, and then it ends with the chase, which
Yeah.
is like the greatest part of the movie, and I think
damn
like
right.
the perfect ending, not just to DeathProof, but to the double feature as well, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel bad for anyone who doesn't want to sit through two films. Like if someone said to me, "Oh, it's two movies. I don't want to sit for that long." It's like, well, it's different. It's not two separate films. It's not like doing a movie marathon, which is always fun though. It's like for a casual moviegoer, it's like you can watch this film and then you can tell yourself you're a movie fan. You can lie to yourself.
Yeah.
you can act like you are, because like as much as it is 3 hours long, at no point during these movies was I like, okay, let's just hurry it up a little bit.
Yeah.
At one point during Planet Terror, I was like, let's bring it a little bit down a little bit. It's a little nuts.
Yeah.
But by the time it got done to at the very end of DeathProof, I was like, they should make a sequel to this. Like as much as I hate sequels, I'm like, I kind of want it more.
Yeah.
It's nice. Like it's a nice length, where most people would think it's 3 hours long.
Yeah.
It's 2 movies.
I'm still waiting for the Tarantino movie that takes every movie he's done and mixes them all together. I mean, obviously the
Like a
the
battle
war epics
royale.
would be a little bit different. Well, just to have elements of different actors. I mean, I wish they did the Vega brothers. We've
Yeah.
talked about that before. I wish they did that when they were young enough to do it. But they both died in their respective movies too,
Yeah.
right? So like, I mean, it'd be nice to see a sequel, like a Pulp Fiction sequel, and it's all like when these characters were younger.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like,
He talked about making it into a book. Would you read that book?
oh yeah, I think I'd read anything if he.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair.
If he started making greeting cards, I'd read every greeting card. You know, like
Sit there, just happy birthday.
yeah.
Beautifully
I'm
wrote,
a fan. I'm a huge fan.
No, it'd be birthday happy.
Yeah, birthday happy. Oh yeah, you know, I'd order.
But to what you were saying with like wanting more, I think that's part of what makes it so great is that you leave the theater wanting more after sitting there for like 3 hours, right? That's kind of what you want. And when Robert Rodriguez went and did Machete, which I thought was great, it was like you wanted Machete watching that trailer, and you got Machete, and I thought Machete was a good movie. I hated Machete Kills though. I thought Machete Kills was terrible. So it's like sometimes it's like I would rather have that feeling of wanting more and leaving with that than getting too much and being let down in the end, and then having that sour taste in your mouth after.
Yeah.
Like I watched Mad Max right after. Mad Max Road Warrior right after. As soon as like credits started, I threw that in because I was like, I want to watch more stuff like this. I have a question.
Do you,
I have a question. Believe it or not,
Jeremy?
for both of you.
Ty has a question.
I have a question, Jeremy. I have a question, Jeremy. Will you allow me to have a question? One question.
Hurry.
Okay. Who is a better character, Stuntman Mike, or what's his face from Big Trouble in Little China, Kurt Russell's character?
Yes, I wish I'd seen that movie to know the comparison.
You've never
You haven't seen it?
So we have an opening. Just
Wow.
It wasn't in the research material. I would have.
it's on. It was just put on Netflix.
What's his name in that movie now? It's killing me.
Snake?
No. That's Escape from New York.
What's his name?
I'm gonna.
No, that's
No, Big Trouble in Little China. Isn't it like? This is killing me right now. I watched
It
I
is.
watched the movie like every Halloween.
I'm gonna
actually.
Google
It's
it.
like a.
Oh,
It's a
I was
great
gonna say,
movie.
I don't know a thing what you're talking about. Why don't you discuss whether I'll look it up.
One
for
thing
you.
I really like about like, never mind. We're not. We'll do a review of Big Trouble in Little China. I'm not gonna get on to Big Trouble in Little China. Anyway, for me, it's a hard. Like I like Kurt Russell. Pardon?
It's gonna kill me now. You gotta look it up.
Yeah, I'm okay.
John or Thank
Jack
you,
Burton.
Jack Burton. Okay.
All right.
I would actually say Jack. I would
Jack?
say Jack. And the reason is because you get more of Jack.
Yeah.
Like it's not this, and I guess it's hard to kind of make one better than the other because I think Mike has a lot about the character of Mike that remains unseen.
Yeah.
Which is I like
Boba
that.
Fett.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
It's
the
like
Boba Fett of Quentin Tarantino universe.
the backstory that you hear about and stuff, right? But there's a lot of unknowns with Stuntman Mike. But Jack, like the experience of Big Trouble in Little China, which is like a hilariously fun experience to go through watching that movie. You get to experience the character through that whole thing, and I would maybe it's because I'm impartial and I find Big Trouble in Little China to just be like that insane, crazy John Carpenter movie that I watch every October. But yeah, I think I don't know. I might pick Jack, maybe, but.
The reason I pick, sorry for spitting, Stuntman Mike is this. So, Big Trouble in Little China. In the movie, he's a character that through the movie he doesn't really believe what's going on.
Right.
He's like, what the fuck's going on? This is bullshit. The whole movie, and he's a great character, and I love the acting through the movie, and I love the story arc and stuff like that. But Stuntman Mike through the movie, right at the beginning, you get the whole idea of he's like, I used to be my prime. Like he has a history to him. Like he has a whole rich history to him, and you feel like he's out of his prime and he's getting revenge now. Like you feel like with him saying, as a stuntman, and he starts talking about his past, and everyone's like, that's lost. It's like you can see he's had an exciting life. He has a big scar. He got shaving.
It's almost like there's more dimension to the character that we see less of.
Yeah, like
Than in Big Trouble in Little China, it's like you can connect to the character as an audience member because you feel like if I was in this situation, guys shooting lightning and all this stuff, like I would probably feel the same way, right? But I can see what you're saying.
It's a richer character. It's just you get a whole feeling like you want to learn more about him. It's like Boba Fett, and then if we're not lucky, in a couple of years, they'll make an origin story, and we'll go, oh, he's a clone of some other person.
Yeah.
Got his head cut off. It's stupid. Let's continue.
Yeah. But yeah, I can see what you're saying completely with him, having that kind of that more dimension to him, like a richer character. And that's what I find interesting. It's a richer character, but we don't see as much as that character. We don't.
Yeah, and where like most movies take place in within the character's prime, like it's the main story of their life, like Big Trouble in Little China.
Right.
There is nothing else in his life if someone came up to him and said, "Hey, tell me a story about your life that I'm gonna find interesting," that's the story he would tell. Stuntman Mike would not go up to you and be like, "Oh, so one time I went to this bar and I was eating nachos, and this radio girl came up to me." Like you see, like to him, it's just like an average day. He dies at the end, and that's obviously wouldn't be an average day for him. Yeah. But he doesn't see anything out of the ordinary. You see through him that he's done this before.
Well,
this isn't
you don't know specifically if he's done it before because he's a stuntman. I mean, anything that could have happened to him could have happened working on a TV show or a movie, right? This could be his first time doing it. I mean, and it's not like he didn't get banged up himself.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he got hurt pretty good, So like, I mean, the whole reason why he got away with it was because it was an accident.
Yeah.
It kind of adds to like an urban legend of it too, right? Like, I mean, to see a crazy car driving really fast on a dark night.
Yeah.
And then they shut their lights off.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that? Like in real life? I've seen it. Nobody coming at me.
I was going to say, who's driving around
when I was younger, when, a lot of cars have daytime running lights nowadays, but like you get an older car, you can shut those lights off. Yeah. You can end up behind somebody, mess them up.
Oh God.
So like, I mean, it could very well be the first 2 times he's ever done it.
Mhm.
You
But
know?
it's still
he
like
found out that that was something that he wanted to do.
like, but you also see like, again, where he doesn't really care, but like he cares about what he's doing. It's a rush thing. But if you came up to him and asked him, he wouldn't care about that. He'd be like, oh no, listen to my backstory about all these stunts I've done.
Yeah.
And then if you were like, oh, but I heard you also killed those people, like, oh, I did that too. But you know, like
Yeah.
I was a stuntman. Like it seems like this is
Yeah.
not what he's like excited about. This isn't for him. If it is a big thing, it isn't what he's striving for. He doesn't want this.
Yeah, I don't think Stuntman Mike has a group of friends.
No. I'm just saying, I don't think this is something like he's striving for. Like, I don't think,
Yeah.
I think if he was still a stuntman, like if he was still a thing, I don't think he would have went around, like, I don't think he would have killed the people. I think to me, it's more of a revenge on society that he's getting forgot of. And so he's like, well, he's getting forgotten, not forgot of.
Yeah, I know.
He's getting forgotten. So
Yeah.
it's like, I don't think he's really, as much as he's having fun with it, I don't really think he's proud of it. I don't think this is something that he would have done if he had any other choice. But to him, this is like what he's got to do. This is how he gets back at him. I could be completely
I don't see
wrong.
really much evidence of that in the movie, other than that he's motivated by pretty girls and he wants to hurt them in the most brutal way he knows how.
Oh God, by running their face and
Yeah.
just,
I can see what you're saying though.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I can.
Oh, for sure.
he's got my back. See, me and him
Oh,
are
I'll get your
friends.
back.
Well, it could be either or, right?
Yeah.
And I guess maybe that's again
No,
a
on
testament
my
to
side.
the. But again, maybe that's just a testament to the writing of the character. You know,
Yeah.
it's like the questions that are left unanswered that you don't necessarily know, and that as like an audience member, you kind of create the answers for yourself,
Yeah.
right? So
I just don't think there wouldn't be a Stuntman Mike movie.
No.
You've seen as much as you need to be about that character.
Oh yeah. I don't like. For example, if you had a movie, you wouldn't because you haven't killed people and you like.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, for him, his exciting
Even
thing.
as a secondary character
Yeah.
in a Pulp Fiction sequel or something.
Yeah. To me,
You
like
know, like
he-
showing a movie set or something, and it's like, hey Mike, come on in here, and just all of a
Yeah.
sudden you just see him going into the thing to do the stunt, and that's it. That's all you see.
Yeah, like that. Like to me, I just think like I don't think he wants to be a big thing. I think he's more like I'm happy to be a stuntman, and like I think when he is telling those people, isn't him going, "Look, I've been in movies," because he seems like when he's asked about it, he's like, "Oh, you know, I looked a lot like this guy." He doesn't say,
Robert
"Oh, you know,
Urich.
they needed like." To me, if he was like, "I want fame," he wouldn't have been like, "Oh, I looked like this."
Well,
guy.
you wouldn't
He
be in a
would've-
small town
Yeah.
bragging about the things you've done in movies.
But to me, for him, he's just like, oh, you know, I'm proud that I've been like I'm a stuntman. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think he's out there going like, I want fame. Yeah, like I it's more of a he's proud of what he did, but he's not
Yeah.
going to just brag about it. I'm now repeating myself.
So the second act actually takes place in what, Tennessee or something like
Yes,
that?
Tennessee.
Yeah. So the first act is in Austin.
Austin, Texas.
I like how it's the two. He obviously goes to a different town. I mean, if it was
Yeah.
the same town, it would be kind of ridiculous. But like and Texas is where Planet Terror happens, which makes sense why on the radio they're like "Rest in peace, Jungle Julia."
Yeah.
I think it's. I don't even know where I'm going to go on that. You go ahead.
What? So you talk about relocating?
Well, no, I think it's great that they did that. I'm thinking for sequel purposes, you would a movie in Tennessee isn't something that Tarantino usually does, right? Like it's usually California or you know what I mean? Like Jackie Brown's California, Pulp Fiction's California, Reservoir Dogs is L.A.
Yeah.
You know, like you take something like Tennessee. I wonder why he picked Tennessee. Is basically where I was going.
Drew dart at a map.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Quick thing, Jared. What time? How long are we doing this for? I just want to see if it's time for me to get off topic for a second.
Yeah, 40 minutes.
40 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna
We've
get.
been talking about this.
Hmm?
We've been talking about this for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
I know this one's going to pass really quick.
Yeah.
So, Quentin Tarantino fan. Have you heard? Sorry, wait, no, I can't just ask a question. May I ask a question? I have a question.
No.
Oh.
Anyways.
So, like,
Continue.
have you heard? Obviously, Quentin Tarantino hasn't confirmed what his next movie is, but there is a rumor because he mentioned it in an interview. He might be doing. Are you aware of this rumor? Before I say it,
Nope.
Are you aware of this
Is
rumor?
it the Kill Bill one?
No.
Okay. Maybe. You might have to refresh my memory.
He said he might do like a Bonnie and Clyde film set in the 30s in Australia. That's what he's thinking about at the moment.
Okay.
What's your thoughts on that?
Is Zoe Bell in it?
Zoe Bell, I don't know. He's not really
Well,
said
when you said Australia or New Zealand or whatever, never call an Aussie a Kiwi. Is that right, Dylan? Dylan's
Wait, will
not here.
Dylan be in it? Do you think he'll get casted?
Well, he'll know somebody in it
Yeah.
because he's from Australia.
Yeah, Australians know Australians.
Yeah. So no, I anything that he's
There's like
he's
6
doing,
people there,
I
isn't
think
there?
that's the most minimal I've ever heard about a Tarantino movie. Like I remember hearing about Django before. It was like, oh, it's
Yeah.
going to be like a spaghetti western slavery movie, and I'm like, if anyone can do it, it's him. Inglourious Basterds is like it's a World War II epic, and it's just like, it's not going to be about World War II.
Yeah,
It's going to be about
exactly.
something else.
Mm-hmm.
And even like Hateful Eight, it was like it's kind of like The Thing, and it takes place in winter.
If someone came up to me and said, "Oh, I'm going to make a movie that's like The Thing." Also, by the way, Thing takes place in winter.
Okay, no, but what I'm saying is I knew that was the
okay.
movie, like the premise of what the movie was going to be.
Like that.
I knew it was gonna
like The
be like
Thing,
that.
but plays in winter. I was like, wait, what?
Well, you know what I mean. It was a winter film. He hasn't done
Yeah.
those, right? So that's not what I didn't mean. The Thing wasn't.
That wasn't even what I was going to make fun of. I was going to make fun of the fact that it's not a monster movie.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I mean it certainly wasn't. I'm just saying that.
To me, it was Clue.
You're saying it's a Bonnie and Clyde movie, but like, what is the thing that makes it different?
Yeah.
From any other movie that's like that. What's the Tarantino spin on it? Like you have True Romance, which was kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde type thing, even though they weren't really killing people for fun. They were killing people that had wronged them.
That was such a great.
And you want to talk about Natural Born Killers as well. He's kind of done the Bonnie and Clyde thing. So like, what's different about the new thing that he's thinking about doing?
Maybe he doesn't want to do new. What if he's now in his old age has decided he's going to, slip back in the shadows and just do.
Then I'd say do another bank robbery diamond heist movie.
Oh my God, Reservoir Kangaroo. That's what it's going to be called.
Reservoir Kangaroo with Australian actors. Same dialogue, shot for shot.
Yeah, exactly the same.
Yeah, well, no.
But yeah, you're right though. Like, what is like the spin to it?
I'm curious to think about so he's got 2 films left, and to me, I don't think they're going to be, like for example, he did a throw towards exploit films in this one, and then when he did Hateful Eight, he did Roadshow, which I really badly wish I could have went to. I just want to know, is he going to, for his last ones, is he going to do that stuff? Like, is he going to do, for his last 2, is he going to do something like that, like something monumental?
Didn't he come out and say that he might just do more at this point, like than 10?
He said
I thought he was like.
He kind of took a half step instead of a back step. He went, I'm going to make 10, but if I want, I might make more, but they're not going to be part of the 10. I'm like, what?
My
He
feeling
goes, they're
is
not going to be
like-
part of the 10. I'm like,
My feeling is like he is somebody who loves to make movies so much.
yeah.
I can't picture somebody like that giving it up just because he's like, oh well, what do you say? Like directors get old and they lose it. It's like,
Yeah.
well, if he doesn't feel that he's lost it, then it's something you
Yeah,
love
keep
to do.
going,
Why would you stop doing it? He strikes me as someone who just solely makes the movie that he wants to see, which I think is a perfectly fine approach because if you enjoy it, chances are other people are going to enjoy it too, right? So that's why people say that. I listen to people talk about like how original Tarantino is, and I don't find Tarantino to be an original in the sense like original director. I find that he takes the things that were done before that he loves, and then he incorporates them his own way into something, and that's kind of what makes him it like his own style, right? Like when you look at like the Kill Bill was amazing because he took samurai films, and then he also took a spaghetti western, and he made it the same
And like anime as well.
and and all that
Yeah.
stuff, and he incorporated it into its own story. And I think that was really cool. Like, when have you ever seen a movie that's done that before, right?
A lot of times when I watch a movie, I go, okay, well, after that, I want to watch a movie that's similar to it. You can't do that with Kill Bill. There's nothing really like it. Like, you could watch a Jackie Chan movie, I guess, but still so much
Well,
different.
you could watch like a Bruce Lee movie.
Right.
It's still
and
so much
see-
different. Like,
yeah, oh yeah.
no matter what, is like you cannot get anywhere close to the
Yeah.
same feel.
No.
But it's like, he even says, he's like in Kill Bill, he's got his Brian De Palma sequence and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he takes the stuff that, like, as a viewer and as an audience member, he loves to see, and then he incorporates it in his own way. And I think that's like totally fine and really cool, because then you're just kind of going at it from a person that loves movies and the things that they love to see. And I think it's amazing how well it all works together.
Yeah.
You know, as a director, to take, again, like a spaghetti western and a samurai film and make it a revenge film and incorporate those two things, and yet you don't even notice it, like when you're watching
Yeah.
it. Like when you watch Volume 1 and Volume 2, they're very different, kind of, again, like one's a samurai film, one's a spaghetti western. Yet it tells the same story, and it incorporates all these genres together so well.
And it's also kind of funny. With Kill Bill 1, she kills one person at the very beginning, very quickly, and then the rest of the films takes place on her trying to kill one other person who isn't Bill. And that takes up a big chunk of time, where the last one, she has a bunch of people to go through, and she does, because the main person's Bill, which is taken out at the end. Like, it's very different considering how it's paced as well. Where most of the first movie is her getting prepared to go against her challenge, where the next one is her working through the lower people to get up to him.
Yeah, I remember. Sitting in the theater. I should even talk about when Kill Bill first was announced. I was like, oh, well, it's a revenge film and all that stuff, and they're talking about how Uma Thurman, they waited a long time for her to, because she had a baby or whatever, and it took him a while to get her to do that, and he wasn't doing the movie without her. But when it was going to get split into two parts, I was just like, oh, I want to watch it. I hope they put it all together, right? Like, I hope they have a version of it all the way through, but it's not set up like that.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, I wouldn't want it any other way either, right? Like, when you get through the first act or the first volume of it, you're like, okay, breather. And it took some time for the second one to come out, but when the second one came out, you're right, the pace was completely different.
Yeah.
There wasn't the anime, there wasn't the samurai stuff. I mean, even though there was some samurai
It
stuff,
was differently paced.
but it was
You
like
know,
it was more the training, right?
right.
So, and it being all over the place. Like, if you had seen the training first,
Mhm.
like if you saw it in chronological order,
Yeah.
wouldn't be the film it is.
No.
You know, like, I mean, her going after Vernita Green after the huge epic battle of going after the first girl,
Right.
you know, it wouldn't make sense. So, I mean, we're kind of leaning, we're talking about Tarantino, we're not talking about DeathProof. But I mean, that's not the first time in our podcast.
Right.
that
Oh,
we've
we
done
do that so often.
But we're actually talking about this director in this
Yeah.
one, so it leads itself to it.
In White Zombie, we talked for White Zombie for like 5 minutes and went off on whatever
Yeah.
else we wanted to, because no one wants to talk about that movie.
Yeah.
So we've been going a bit. So this is about the end of this episode. So ratings.
Excellent. Oh, you get the first rating this time.
So this is not fair. This is
Yeah,
really
every
hard.
single time we're gonna shoot it towards you. There you go.
Oh man. I still love the movie. It's not my favorite Tarantino film.
What is your favorite Tarantino film? You haven't thought of
I'm
it,
always I've been asked the question
have you?
before.
I'm putting you on the spot twice.
It always, believe it or not, it always bounces around between Pulp Fiction and Kill Bill. And some of my friends were surprised by that, because Kill Bill is very different from Pulp Fiction and his other movies, in the sense that it doesn't have the traditional dialogue, like that Tarantino dialogue,
Yeah.
that you get in it. But I love how much of a visual punch to the face Kill Bill was.
Yeah.
And in that respect, I think it's like a great, one of his great movies, because in that respect it is different. But for this one, I mean, the car chase for me, the car chase kind of makes up for all the things that I would criticize the film for, because at the end of the movie, you're left with that. You're not thinking about, what parts dragged or anything like that. You're thinking about what you just witnessed with the car chase, because it just takes all the air out of the movie.
Yeah.
I guess you could say. I don't know if that's traditionally a good or bad thing, but I mean, like, it really takes the whole. It takes
takes the cake.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So I would give it like 8 virgin pina coladas out of 10.
That's funny. I was thinking about virgin
Oh,
pina
really?
coladas
Oh,
too.
there you go.
So I'll go 7 nacho grande platters of out of 10.
I just took the best things
Yeah.
for me to reference in this. Also, yeah, okay, come on.
So what's your rating?
I need a build up for this. I need
Build up, delay, whatever.
yeah, just this is gonna be the best ring I've ever made. 9.
Oh, pretty high up there.
Big Trouble in Little China tank tops out of 10.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Very
out of
good.
11 actually. I'll give a little breathing room.
Very good.
Yeah, out of 11.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I find GrindHouse kind of hard to rate because it's like when I always find it hard to kind of rate movies just because I experience different movies. I kind of experience it. Like I find it impossible to find like a perfect movie,
Yeah.
right? But in this sense, in terms of like entertainment value that I get out of watching it, I rate the whole package very high.
Yeah.
Just because of the experience of watching it was so satisfying as a film fan, you know, as a movie goer, and for an experience that I didn't really get to have much when I was younger watching movies, I would rate the entertainment value of it extremely high.
Yeah.
You know, up there. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
close to
the presentation of the 2 movies, the fake trailers, everything. Yeah, the Grindhouse it's a DVD. If someone hasn't seen it, I love watching the whole thing with someone that is a movie fan.
Right.
It's hard to find a movie fan that hasn't seen one or the other, or maybe one more than the other. Obviously, there's extended versions of things, of DeathProof, and I would say if you haven't seen the extended or the cut version of the 2 films together, I definitely recommend it. It's worth a buy to get the Blu-ray for it to do that.
And I think it's also great, like to your point, to like show to someone who hasn't had that before. You know, like I watched it in the fall with my girlfriend at the time, and she loved it. Like just the experience of watching it with the trailers in there and stuff, and she could appreciate it, which was great. But I think it's something that it's one of those movies that I would enjoy showing to someone who hasn't seen it. Like you get kind of like a different type of enjoyment showing it to someone who hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a great selling feature to say, well, it's Rodriguez, it's Tarantino, it's a bunch of guest directors doing fake trailers in between. There's a girl with a machine gun leg. There's an epic car chase. It's like you have so many selling features to these 2 films.
yeah.
You know, and you could just say Rodriguez, Tarantino, gold, and someone that's, you know, even just a mild fan would know those names.
You'd be like,
Right.
oh yeah, that sounds like a good time.
Yeah, well, let's watch that. Or hey, I've seen it before, but I haven't seen it that way before. So, yeah,
So thank you for watching.
yeah. Thank you.
Please subscribe to NorthStar and FauxPop, and
Oh, FanBoyFlicks.
you get caught off guard
I'm
every
not
single
expecting
time.
it every single time because I'm just kind of in the zone here of what we're
Just
talking about, right?
zoned in.
Yeah,
So,
no, check out his channel.
and-
It's funny. I watched a couple last night, and I was in stitches. Specifically, I watched The Fifth Wave, but there are so many videos of bad movies, and
Hopefully more to come.
you're hilarious,
Hopefully more.
Mark.
Thank you.
Good job.
Oh, I appreciate
And
that.
thank you for coming on our little show.
Oh, thank you
Our
for having
humble-
me. You know, it's a
humble little show.
It's a nice drive down here. You know, even though it's raining outside. But yeah, it was really cool to be here. Thanks
What
for
else are you
having
gonna
me.
do? It's raining.
Yeah. You know,
Might as well talk about movies.
Yeah.
Especially movies I enjoy. Why not?
Exactly.
so yeah, we'll see you next week. Sadly, with our guest not here.
We'll just have to deal with just plain old Ty and me.
I have
I'm
to go
sorry
back
for
to
that.
bad movies. So.
If you go back to bad movie, go back to your domain.
Excellent. So thanks for watching.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
Thanks, RJ.
Awesome.
Bye.